Questions 1 through 4 on the 2009 Grade 12 Euclid Math Contest. A line has the equation 6x plus 3y minus 21 is 0. What is the slope of the line? So all we really have to do is rearrange this equation from 6x plus 3y minus 21 equals 0 in the form where we have isolated for y. And if we can get it in this form, y equals mx plus b, then the slope is represented by that number, the coefficient of x. So let's do that. That would be 3y is equal to minus 6x plus 21. Then you divide through by 3, and you get minus 2x plus 7. Now it's in this form, and that coefficient is negative 2. So the slope of that equation is negative 2. A line with the slope 3 passes through the points 1, 0, and 5, C. What is the value of C? So as before, a line will have the equation y is equal to mx plus b. Now since it satisfies those 2 points, we can sub those 2 points in. So first let's put in 1, 0. If we do, we get 0 is equal to m plus b. But they already told me that the slope is 3. So that means m is 3. So I can put 3 for m. And solving for b, I get negative 3. So the equation of this line, very quickly, we were able to get is 3x minus 3. So to get the value of c, we have to substitute in that point. So 5c, if you put that in, we get c for the value of y is equal to 3 times 5 minus 3. So that looks like 15 minus 3. So therefore c is equal to 12. The point KK lies on the line segment AB shown in the diagram. Determine the value of K. So as before, we have a line and it will be of the form y is equal to mx plus b. Substitute that first point, this guy right here, and we will get 4 is equal to b. And then substitute in this point into y is equal to mx plus 4. So we'll put in 8, negative 4. And when we do that, we get negative 4 is equal to 8m plus 4, and therefore negative 8 is equal to 8m, and m is equal to negative 1. So our equation is y is equal to negative x plus 4. So in this equation, I will substitute kk. So I have k here minus k plus 4. So that means 2k is equal to 4, and therefore k is equal to 2. What is the sum of the two numbers that satisfy the equation x squared minus 6x minus 7? Well, you can factor this and get the roots pretty quickly. This will be x minus 7 and x minus 1. And therefore, the roots are 7 and 1. And so the sum of those two numbers, x plus 1, and therefore it would be x equals 7 and negative 1. So the sum of those two numbers is obviously 7 minus 1, which is 6. Now you could have also done that using Vieta's formula, and a lot of you are familiar with that if you have a second degree polynomial of the form ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0, the sum of the roots is given by a very quick formula, and that quick formula is minus b over a. So using that, we could have easily gotten it also. Minus b over a in this case would be minus 6 over 1, which is 6, as before. So either way, the sum of the two numbers that satisfy that equation is 6. What is the product of the two numbers that satisfy this equation? 5x squared minus 20 is equal to 0. All right. Well, this shouldn't be too bad. 5x squared, bring the 20 over, and then x squared is therefore equal to 4, and x is equal to plus 2 and minus 2. So the product of those two numbers is 2 times negative 2, which is, of course, negative 4. Now again, using Vieta's formula, if you remember, the product of roots for a polynomial of the form ax squared plus bx plus c is 0 is given by another really quick formula, and that is c over a. So if you use that on here, you can also quickly get the product of the roots. In this case, it would be minus 20 over 5, which is negative 4, which is the same answer I got up here. Determine the average of the numbers that satisfy this equation. We have x to the power 3 minus 6x squared plus 5x is equal to 0. Factor out an x and you'll get x squared minus 6x plus 5 is equal to 0. X is therefore going to be out here alone, but then this guy we can factor, and it looks like that will be x minus 5 and x minus 1. So that means the roots are 0, 5, and 1, and they want you to find the average. So the average of those three numbers is 0 plus 5 plus 1 divided by 3, which is 6 over 3, which is equivalent to 2. In the diagram, AB is equal to AC is equal to AD is equal to BD. CAE is a straight line segment that is perpendicular to BD. What is the measure of CDB? Let's enlarge this diagram just a little bit because I think we're going to need to label some things. So I think that's pretty good right there. Okay, now let's talk about this question. They're saying that AB is equal to AC is equal to AD is equal to BD. So I'll just drop up those lines to show that they're equal. And then they want you to figure out the measure of CDB. So this angle right here. Okay. Well, the very first thing I notice is that ABD is equilateral. So if it's equilateral, then these are all 60 degrees. 60, 60, and this is 60. So this angle obviously is what I'll need to figure out. So I'll just call that X. And in the end, angle CDB will be 60 plus X. So if I can figure out X, then I'll be able to solve the question. Well, if you look at this triangle, CAD, that is isosceles. So if this is X, that means this is X in terms of its angle. And very similarly, because of the symmetry of this diagram, this is also going to be X. And since this triangle is also isosceles, that angle is also going to be X. So if you look at the sum of the angles of that entire triangle BCD, you will see that it's X plus X plus X plus 60 plus X plus 60. And that is equal to 180. So this looks like 4x plus 120 is 180, and therefore 4x is 60, and therefore x is 15. So going back to this formula, 60 plus 15, which is 75, is the value of angle CDB, which is what they want. In rectangle ABCDF is on diagonal BD, so that AF is perpendicular to BD. Also, BC is 30, CD is 40, and AF is X. Determine the value of X. So let's label this. Let's call this theta, and this is obviously a right angle. So this would be 90 minus theta. And Similarly, this angle in here will be 90 minus theta, and therefore this angle will be theta. So as you can clearly see, there's a similar triangle situation here. That triangle BCD is similar to triangle ABF because they have the same angles. So that means the ratio of the sides will be the same. So that means AF over 30 will be equivalent to AB over BD. And we have some of these. We have, for example, AB, because that's just going to be the same as CD. If CD is 40, which is what they say in the question, then AB will be 40 up here. So that means AF over 30 is equivalent to 40 over BD. But BD I don't know, but I can easily figure that out using Pythagoras, because BD squared is equivalent to BC squared, which is 30, plus CD squared. So 30 squared plus 40 squared. And if you do the math there, you can easily figure out that BD is equal to 50. So you put the 50 down here, and then solving for AF, you will get 24. And that is the value of x. In the arithmetic sequence, the first term is 1 and the last term is 19. The sum of all the terms is 70. How many terms does the sequence have? The first term all the way up to the nth term, and they tell you the first term is 1, and the nth term, the last term, is 19, and the sum of all these terms, if you add them all up, is 70. And they want you to figure out how many terms. Well, in an arithmetic sequence, all the terms are going to be of the form A plus D, A plus 2D, A plus 3D, and so on, right? That's what it means to be an arithmetic sequence. This is the fourth term, and then dot, 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 like that, all the way up until the last term, which is 19 in this case. But in terms of my notation, it'll be A plus n minus 1D, right? Because it's always n minus 1. Okay, so far so good. Anything that we can do? Well, this is a good clue that A, the first term, is equal to 1. And the last term is equal to 19. So I think that will help us a little bit. A plus n minus 1D is equal to 19. And then A is equal to 1, so I'll substitute that in. So 1 plus n minus 1D is equal to 19. So that means n minus 1 times D is equal to 18. Okay, it's about as far as I can go there. Now I want to add up this whole sum. That's going to be the piece of information that allows me to finish off this question. So if I'm adding all this, it's A plus D plus A plus 2D, and so on, right? All the way up until dot, 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 until my nth term, which is A plus n minus 1D. And all of those terms add up to 70. Well, how many A's do I have? I have n of them. So I have NA, since there's n terms. And then if you add up these D's, it's D plus 2D plus 3D, right? All the way up until n minus 1D, like that. A is equal to 70. So NA, but A is equal to 1. So I can just put 1 for A, and that just leaves me with n. And if I factor out a D, I get 1 plus 2 plus 3, all the way up until n minus 1. Like that. And the good news is that for this guy, we know a formula. Anytime you have consecutive numbers, I'm sure you know by grade 12, that if you're adding up consecutive integers till n, that can be summarized as n times n plus 1 over 2. But just be careful because we're going up to n minus 1. So this becomes n plus d times n minus 1 times n minus 1 plus 1 all over 2. and that is equal to 70. Now I think, okay, I've got two variables. That's most unfortunate. But the good news is that this guy right here will help. N minus 1 times d is 18. So this right here is 18. So that means we got n plus 18, and then this just becomes just n all over 2. So I've got n plus 9n is equal to 70. So that means 10n is equal to 70, and therefore n is equal to 7. And that's what they wanted in the question. They wanted how many terms are there in this sequence, and the number of terms is 7. Suppose that a times x plus b times x plus 3 is equal to 2 times x plus 6 for all values of x. Determine a and b. So we will just expand this, x plus b, x plus 3, just make sure we don't make any mistakes, 2x plus 12. Okay, let's see here, we got x plus b, x plus 3b, 2x plus 12, and then expanding further, we have ax plus abx plus 3ab, and then let's factor out the x, and if we do, we got a plus ab, and then this is 3ab. So now we have to match these coefficients. So that means that this guy is 12, and this guy is 2. So a plus ab is equal to 2, and 3ab is equal to 12. This one seems pretty straightforward. ab would therefore be 4. Substituting this into here, I get a plus 4 is equal to 2, and therefore a is negative 2. And then substituting a equals negative 2 back into this guy, I get negative 2 times b is 4, so therefore b must be equivalent to negative 2 also. And those are the two values that they wanted us to determine.